Hey guys, here's one that really grabbed me last week. It was the 40th anniversary of Van Halen's 5150. Wow. And I guess I really hadn't thought about it, These anniversaries come and first off, it knocks you back a bit when you're celebrating 40 years of anything. That's a long time. And especially when you're thinking about something that happened when you were a kid. And then especially when you still think you're a kid and you kind of have to deal with the fact it's been 40 years. That's interesting. But nevertheless, the vault has kind of been opening in Van Halen Sammy world a bit the last couple of years. They had the box set with the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge reissue. And it had that great show from Dallas, the West End, actually, Dallas Alley. Which was amazing. I was at the Monsters of Rock in Dallas, Texas in '88 in the OU812 tour. Excuse me. And Sam came out and could only play like 4 songs. Throat was gone. And I was so bummed out because that's the first time I was seeing Van Halen. I was born in '72. I was too young on the 1984 tour. 5150 tour just hit major markets. They didn't go to B markets like I was in. So I didn't see that tour. And so to finally get to see them on OU812, I was so pumped. And 4 songs and done. And Sammy came back. Dallas, Texas, Sammy was huge. And Dallas loved Sammy. And he came out and said, we're going to come back and do a free concert. Which actually years later, when I met people that worked with the band, that actually caused a huge internal thing. But nevertheless, they made good on their word. They came back to Dallas Alley, played that free show. I didn't get to go. I was in college working. And so there was a bootleg for years floating around. My good friend Darren Day gave me a copy of that bootleg. And so it was so cool to see them officially put that out on the re-release of the that record. So back to 5150. My favorite concert film of all time is Live Without a Net, filmed on that 5150 tour. We had it on VHS, wore it out. I think I bought multiple copies of that. And then sometime around like 2005, it got re-released on DVD, but it was just a direct transfer. I mean, it didn't look any better or sound any better. So I absolutely cannot wait. There's an expanded edition for 5150 that came out. It has the live tracks from Live Without a Net, and then there's a Blu-ray. So I can't wait to hear and see that. But anyway, where were you when 5150 came out? Were you blown away? Or were you so overwhelmed and upset that Roth wasn't in the band, you just wouldn't have it? I didn't fall in love with Van Halen until 1984. Jump and, Drop Dead Legs, I'll Wait, House of Pain, so many good songs. But then all of a sudden, this 5150 record comes out, and I certainly went back and listened to Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2 a little, and then Fair Warning, Diver Down, and escaping me, Cradle Will Rock, Women and Children First. I didn't catch those records till later, so I'm kind of a Sammy era kid, not having older siblings that turned me on to old Van Halen. So 5150, it flipped me on my head, man. Hearing Sammy scream from track 1 when that came out, I loved it. Why Can't This Be Love? I loved it. The song 5150, I loved it. Get Up was like Van Halen doing like thrash. It was great. And then that concert film, I think it really defined, I'm 53, I think it really defined who Van Halen was for people my age. So anyway, so many of my friends, texted me, who my Van Halen friends are. Anytime anything hits the internet, there's like a half a dozen of us that are like hitting each other. Did you see this? Did you see this? I was so happy to see that turn 40, and I'm happy that the vault is finally moving. This Van Halen vault we've always heard about. It seems like good things are coming. So anyway, 51, I've listened to it 10 times since it came out last week, and I've just fallen in love with it all over again. I mean, Dreams. God, if only Dreams were on that record. Love Walks In. I love it. I love Inside. I love every song on that record. It's so good. So anyway, cheers to all my friends that love Van Halen, that love 5150. It's a good time to be alive, to be getting all these reissues. And how cool is that Don Landy oversaw it, their original engineer for all those great records up until OU812. He engineered all of them, and I love that. And I feel like the catalog's in good hands. Wolf isn't like saying much, but you know, it's happening. Whoever is making that happen, it's starting to happen, and I love it. So anyway, hope everybody has a good week. Hope you listen to 5150 and you feel like a kid again, because Lord knows I did. All right, be good to each other.